this case, let's say someone, an individual suspect, tell the cops or tell the court, like Bryan Kohberger, that he admit guilt. At the end of the day, even though if someone admit guilt or tell you, yeah, I did it or whatnot, it still needs to be proven.
Yes, exactly. Like,
You know what I mean?
and that's you're exactly right, because you can't, I can't just say, I can't just say because I was told this or because I was told, something about this or something about this, that I was, that it's true. Everybody,
Right.
Just because someone tells you, oh, this is what happened, doesn't mean that it happened. Like everybody has a little bit of, a mystery. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a little bit of what could have happened and what did happen kind of situation. Do I know, and this is what I'll say, do I know more? And I've said this, do I know more than the average person would know about this case? Yes. On a certain level, I know more, but that's because I know these kids and I could have a one-on-one conversation with them.
Of course, you're gonna know more, for example, than someone that don't live in Truckee or someone that don't know this person. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, because other people will understand, like, oh my gosh, you know the truth. Whatever you know is being told to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you seen it, you witnessed, like you was there. Exactly. It's not like
no, and so everything I say, you can take it and you could say, okay, she's lying or she's telling the truth. Like in some people obviously have that opinion where they say she's lying or she did this or whatever. I have nothing to here's my other thing. Why would I lie? Why would I go through all of what I went through on a lie? Like if it was
to protect who? Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it.
Well, I've said this a million times. And if I said this a million times, if I had found out that something was done that was wrong, you know what I would have said? As a person, you do the crime, you do the time.
You know what, Megan? So to interrupt you there, and you hold that thought for a second, because you got some great understanding, great conversation right now. I love what you bring in, and I wish we could have this conversation a long time ago. Lucy Morningstar said, not even sure if that's even in the protocol. Can we agree that in a way officers went about it, it was not the norm? Can we agree with that, though?
Yes. Oh, yes. 100%. Well, let me ask you this, though. What is the norm? Because
you're right, because it's a case by case. It's a case by case.
It's a case by case basis, and it's in that way in every case. Cops can lie, cops can cheat, lie, and steal to get the answer. So the only, and this is what I've said from day one. I don't have a badge. I'm not a private investigator. I am not anything. Like at the end of the day, and that's why I think the kids. Not that the kids would trust me any better, but their parents know me. Their parents know me, and they know that if I'm standing up for these kids, I'm standing up for these kids because I know that they're innocent. Like I know that some of these kids, what they said to me in private, just one-liners here and there. There's no way. There's 100% no way. It was. I knew. I just knew right after,
even if they tell you that they did it, it would be hard for you to even see it happening. Because these kids, the parents, where they come from, you know the relationships, again, I believe that you are a trustworthy person, and everybody, if you ask me, without knowing you like that much, I think that the take that I get out of the community, that they do trust you and you are part of the community as well as them. And I believe that they trusted you to try to bring their message to the people, because again, it's so many people around the world going against what was the norm for y'all, what was let's say Truckee, and every single place in United States of America. I totally understand that is different, like everybody has their own customs and whatnot, but I believe that they trusted you because you are a trustworthy person, and they knew that you could try to bring some kind of common sense about it. Am I correct?
Yes, I would say, they would, and like I said, these parents, okay, there's two sides to the story, and there's two sides to this coin. This is what not the story. There's two sides to this coin, because yes, the parents would trust me, but there's also the other side of the parents that don't know me, that don't know me, and they don't know who I am from Adam. And, they're not gonna be as trusting, they're not gonna say, oh, go talk to her. They're not gonna, and that's
you could say that. You could say that, like, from the Westfall side of things.
Say that again.
You could say that, like, you saying that. You could say, far as the Westfall side of things, like, because you cool with certain parents, but you're not like cool with all of them. I ask you, what you say. What you saying is coming from the Westfall side of things.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like I'm saying.
Because it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes like what
sense.
I'm saying is that there's people that it's not that they don't trust me, it's just that they don't know me, and so any parent that, any parent, and I would say, I think Jay would feel this way if he didn't know me. If I was walking up to his child and talking to his child, he would be like, who are you? Like, why are you talking to my child? Right. So, and I would say, and I would say the same thing. And if I said, well, I'm here just to hear, their side, they might say, okay, go ahead and tell your side. She has nothing to hide. Well, there also might be a parent that says, I don't fucking know you. Don't fucking talk to my child. I don't want you around my child. Don't come near my child. Leave me the fuck alone. Right. That's the truth of the matter. And so I couldn't, and I wasn't trying by any way, shape, or form to step on these kids' private lives. Like, I was, they were getting torn apart, and it was just like, and that's really what was.
You was more there for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they know you through your kids and whatnot, and you got to be part of the friendly circle and whatnot. I believe you try to. If they needed to talk to someone, if they needed something, I believe that you try to be that pillow.
Yes, like if there was a child out there that didn't want to talk to the police, like, that didn't want to say anything, that wanted to remain anonymous, that knew something that was gonna, not necessarily, find her, because that's where I believe in accident, and it has been proven to be an accident. I never thought these kids were guilty ever. I just knew
by Nevada County.
Yeah, well, whatever. But the point is that I knew as a parent I had to look at it both sides. As a parent, you have to look at both sides, because these kids, most of them are trustworthy. Some, most of them were very open and honest because they had immunity. But I mean, they didn't have anything to hide, and so they, that's the other thing is that
they give immunity to Sammy and
they gave it to it was
Westfall and Sammy. Westfall and Sammy.
They gave them to no, all the kids from that party were granted immunity because they didn't.
All of them?
Yeah, that's what I think that they were. There was a word that they used.
So long story short, they did identify everyone that he was at the party.
Yes, they identified everybody who was at the. As far as I know, like I said, I don't know.
Right, no, exactly. We were just talking over browsing.
As far as I know, that they've identified everybody that was at the party, and so all these kids, they said, they gave them.
So they give immunity to all of. We're talking about like under 18 or under 18, or that was all the way to the adults.
That was all the way to the adults. Anybody who was at the party had immunity because they wanted what they wanted to find Kiely.
They wanted to find Kiely.
They wanted to find Kiely. That was, and if someone wasn't coming forward because of something they had done at the party, like they had drinking underage or they had bought alcohol or whatever, they didn't want that to hinder someone, coming forward and saying, I know what happened. So they wanted these kids to say, if there's something, they did say to this, and it was on a news conference, if they know something, say something, but
So
you know,
in other words, let's say for example, so due to the everyone had immunity